about the team that didn't make the move. So what you get is in the playoffs, and this team was bold at the deadline, and they went and got this guy. Yeah, so are these three other teams that are watching on TV.
Yes, exactly.
And have now crippled their franchise moving forward. Like, that never gets any pub.
And also we're talking about, the Astros have made the championship series 8 years in a row. So it's not that wild, and they've been one of the best teams all those years.
Yeah.
So, no, you don't do everything. This isn't 15 for the Royals, okay? It's, a window where your best players are going to start having to be let go or traded off or whatever. No, they're not there. Now, I think you might be able to make an argument that this year for the Royals is not necessarily the start of something. It might be a little blip, and then they can have to continue to grow. Because I think, there are enough flaws in this team that they could take a step back next year. I don't think that's blasphemy to say that.
I agree.
So maybe that creates a little more, this is kind of an unexpected blessing here. Why don't we give it a go? But there's various ways to look at it. But no, I don't think you should ever. It doesn't seem like at the trade deadline, for instance, Seattle didn't give away, but in return, they sent their 12th and 30th ranked prospects. Now, when he's 12th, the guy's been hot. He's been hitting home runs, whatever. But still, there were 11 other guys who somebody said is better in your system, and you didn't have to trade him to get a bona fide power hitter who's a beast in the playoffs if you make it there.
Yeah, I will point out that I'd have to look at where the Mariners' system is ranked.
Right.
If you got a great system, 12th best might be
might
great
be darn
player.
good. Yes.
For the Royals, can you name 12
no
prospects in the minor leagues?
If they could trade the 12th and 30th prospect in their system for a fresh bag of Louisville Sluggers, probably be a good deal.
Might already be top 12 for all we know.
I bet he is.
We saw someone.
I guarantee you, he's number one on the second half. I mean,
the night after he was drafted, I saw it was Kyler McDaniel. Somebody said that he immediately jumped into the top 40 prospects in baseball.
Yeah.
So that would be the only Royals player in the
your most recent first round pick is almost always your top guy because they haven't crapped in their hat yet.
Right.
Then they go down and struggle for a couple of months, and then we don't like him anymore. And, they bail on it. So, but, yeah, I mean, and you can't trade Caglione for a year. So
right.
That's not even enough. You can't trade anybody in this draft class for a year. So, yeah, I would like to see them be aggressive, but if they're going to give up meaningful prospects, it better be for somebody that has more than just this year.
I would agree with that, but it seems like they don't have any, that many prospects, so it's going to hurt. Almost seems like they'd have to trade somebody on the club that somebody else sees something in.
Well, I wondered if Michael Garcia was playing second base to be showcased. Or were they going to get a third baseman somewhere along the way?
Well, I think they're kind of moved him over there in hopes that he would start hitting a little bit and that somebody at third would hit. I mean, the Royals are starting virtually every game with a sub-200 hitting leadoff man. It's like tonight's winner of the leadoff lottery is Lucky Jones.
It's going to be Adam Frazier tonight.
Well,
but it was Garrett Hampson against.
Well, I mean, Hampson's actually hit like Babe Ruth compared to some of these people.
I was trying to find the term. You mentioned Passan earlier this week. He had an article on ESPN about the intel he's serving. Been hearing on the 30 teams about the deadline, and the Royals are one of 4 teams. I can't remember who the other 3 were. His term he used was adding - within reason. That was the way he termed it. Is that adding within reason? Is that
well, it's also a difficult market because there's also several other teams that the Tigers have played themselves close to 500 again. The Pirates have played better of late. They're over. So there's hardly any stinkers. The drama in baseball right now is
the tough part.
Whether the White Sox can get it done and displace the 62 Mets because I think they're tied with them now. I think
close. They're getting close. That's
who's hot in baseball? Anybody who plays the White Sox.
Yeah,
they
are. In watching that series, did you watch Nicky Lopez and you went, "God bless Nicky," but this was never going to work. Like, it's not getting better.
Also, I was out at the game.
Like,
no, I never been a fan. It was a wet newspaper.
It's
attack.
one of those things. Yep.
Even at his best, hit the ball just softly enough to not reach the outfield. That's his prescription for hitting for a good average.
When
Believe
he
me, I
batted
know.
300, and he is a Gold Glove caliber middle infielder, but
He's a valuable guy in a good team. He shouldn't play for a bad team. All that means is he gets to play more.
yeah,
Good for him.
which brings his numbers down.
And then I was out at the ballpark on Sunday, and I'll tell you what, just fire Grifol just to do something. That team has no fight. They are just scratch my belly, whatever one of those phrases you likes are in. They are rolling over and taking it. I mean, it's bad.
And the minute they got that's one of the reasons why they put Lugo back out there is like they're just going to hack and you'll be done. And then you look over, was the old.
I'm swinging for the fences on this one. Every guy's up there just trying to hit a home run if he's got any ability. And
the old Bob Uecker line that
running down to first, backwards. I mean, it's just awful, just dreadful.
The old Uecker line that he came up to the bat with 2 outs in the ninth, and the other team's in the dugout, and they're already in their street clothes. That was good with the Royals in the ninth inning of that game on Sunday.
They go to the bullpen, and the door opens, and the guy just shakes his head. No, he's not coming in. You know?
And not only the White Sox lose, they don't score. You know, it's just you're at the game and you're watching it, and they get one, and you're like, they better get a second one at least, and the only way they can win is 2-1. The only way the White Sox are going to win is 2-1.
But they're 5-5 against the Guardians.
I know it's
bizarre.
Although the Guardians have their own offensive struggles right now. So anyway, what my point is, it makes for a very difficult market because besides the Marlins and the White Sox and the Rockies. Yeah. I think every other team either has
not a lot of stores open, which means they can drive the price up.
The Cubs have said that they'll move. The Rays have clearly moved it. I mean,
the Rays will always do that. The Rays could be at first place.
Well, let's talk about that. We'll get into the Rays actually making a move right now, what it means, what Royals fans should be prepared for. We'll do that next. Danny Clinkscale's with us. He's brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing, Kansas City's best. A lot of storms blowing through. Yep, your roof might be okay right now. But what about when it rains and then freezes? When we start getting to winter, little gaps, little problems that are not actually getting all the way through to the house can become big problems. Inspections are free. Estimates are free. No payments collected until you're 100% satisfied. That's how Easton Roofing does business. Find them online at eastonroofing.com.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
If the Royals were one game over 500 and they sold a productive hitter, would the fan base lose their mind, Danny?
I think they would lose their mind, yes. I think they would absolutely lose their mind. The player they traded was basically akin at least to trading Pasquantino. At least.
Yeah, we're... Danny Clinkscale's with us. Little Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing, online at eastonroofing.com. Commercial, residential, yes, they're Kansas City's best. No matter what kind of roofing issue you might have, find them online at eastonroofing.com. Yeah, that's my point is, like, if you're going to play Rays baseball, you play Rays baseball. And the Rays have looked at it. They're playing their best ball of the year. Got back over 500, and they got a deal that they liked, and they moved him.
Mm-hmm. And they did it in bona fide fashion. They played the Yankees twice in this stretch and beat 1-2-0 or 1-1 and split the other 4-game series. So it wasn't like they were just playing the White Sox like everybody else was. Well, that's standing operating procedure for them. They just operate every day. What's today's best way to make us better in the future? And it works.
It works, and I think what people need to understand, and that's why I think this year it may be premature. That's why I think it's so important to be like, yes, I'd love to see him add to this ball club. But is this bullpen going to get you through 2 playoff series?
No,
let alone
what you'd
3?
What the thing is, it amplifies, playoff baseball amplifies every weakness that you have, because guys are going up to the plate. This is, this at bat is life or death. It's impossible to be locked in, laser focused for 600 at bats per year. But in the playoffs, you sure as hell are. And if it's the 7th inning and you finally gotten rid of Seth Lugo, who stuffed you for 6 innings, can you get that their hope is that if they made the playoffs, they'd get 7 at least from the starter, and then Michael Walker's coming in.
Yeah, or somebody like that. Yeah,
right.
Because right now, like, if you can't close, and as Curtis pointed out, there's no coffee in the Royals clubhouse right now.
Yes,
because
coffee's for closers. Yes,
and if you don't have a closer, then you don't have an 8th inning guy either. Right. It's not like your lights out, but and so they've got to really find another guy. I'm hoping Hunter Harvey's something. Right. But they got to find another guy so that, like you said, and so when you're like, well, in a best case scenario, we get 7 out of each starter. Well, reality, you also don't face any riff-raff Sunday lineups, right? You're facing a good lineup that was good enough to get to the playoffs. And so they're going to work the count
every time.
Yes, they'll work the count, and you're probably going to need 3 innings of bullpen minimum every game.
Right.
There are going to be times where it's like, well, he's not having his best day, and we're going to pull him here in the 4th.
Yeah, he's got to go. Right.
How are you going to get there to the end?
Another Rays trade within the last 5 minutes. Zach Eflin to the Orioles.
What? He's their best pitcher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, he's good now after I carried him for 4 years of nothingness back in the day.
Woe is he.
Danny, thank you, sir. Great stuff. We'll talk next week.
Always fun.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Joe Spiker and his team are the best in the business for all your roofing needs, handled with honesty and craftsmanship. Visit them at eastonroofing.com.